nights are getting cooler, and there's a hint of pumpkin spice popping up everywhere you look, especially at the stores. And that right there puts me in a very good mood because fall is upon us. Well, joining us this morning is Erin Bird, the Associate Director of Communications from the Denver Botanic Gardens. Erin, it's so good to have you back.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, you've got a little fall preview, and you know, here on KUSA, we are all excited about the fall because that leads into such a beautiful time of year. So corn mazes are going to be pretty popular. Tell us all about the one at Chatfield Farms, the theme, what we can expect.
Sure. So our Chatfield Farms corn maze features 7 acres of corn that you can find your way through, hopefully not get too lost, but it's a fun adventure. And yeah, the theme does change every year. So this year the design is under the sea themed. So that means like the shape of the maze is like underwater creatures and bubbles and things like that.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. How is the design picked every year?
So we do work with a company that drafts it up, and then they are the ones that kind of cut it into the maze before the corn starts growing tall. So it's our event staff with them who together figure out what the design will be each year.
That is so exciting. Well, right now we're looking at kind of a little preview or a sample, if you will, of Under the Sea, the maze. Okay, ever since I watched Children of the Corn, I'm a little scared of corn mazes, no lie there, but my girls would love to do this. What is the age range for the maze?
Corn maze is family friendly. It's not haunted. It happens during the day.
Okay.
So it is great for all ages, but we do have a mini maze that is much smaller, far less intimidating for the little kiddos. That is included in the regular corn maze price.
Okay, so this is, again, fun for the entire family. Well, I'm sure you've seen pumpkins are in right now. They're popping up everywhere. Let's talk about that in the Pumpkin Festival that you guys also have coming up. What's new this year? It just sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, this is another event that takes place at our Chatfield Farms location in Littleton. And unlike the corn maze, which happens for many weekends, this is a one weekend only event, October 6th through 8th. And all the pumpkins are grown at the gardens. We have a 10-acre pumpkin patch, everything from the little baby pumpkins to white pumpkins to the like weird warty ones. So you can go out, as you can see, explore, walk around the patch, pick your pumpkin. There's live music, there's food vendors, there are kids activities, games. You can explore the farm.
Exactly, and I love the assortment of all kinds of different pumpkins, and I've been seeing those pop up on people's porches. I just love it. Okay. Here at KUSA, we also love when things get a little spooky. For those of us who like those kind of things, anything happening as well with that.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know, but the York Street location is said to be very haunted.
Oh, I've heard.
Yes, because the garden sits on the site of a former cemetery. So there has been a lot of supernatural sightings, encounters from staff that work late in the evenings. And then also because of the cemetery, sometimes when we do, most of the bones were exhumed, but sometimes when we do construction projects, we might hit some human remains.
Really?
So we have the Ghost in the Gardens Open Scare, which is kind of a self-guided after dark experience. We can go through and learn all the haunted history of the gardens.
Okay, that is something cool to do, especially for those fans of spooky things out there. All right, well, the weather's been changing for sure. You know, it's getting a little bit cooler in the mornings and the evenings, but that doesn't mean that we have to stop gardening. As a matter of fact, there's a way to get even more plants.
Yes, so now is the time to start planning for your 2024 flower garden, and this is the time to plant your spring bulbs. Well, not quite yet, but it's usually like mid to late October in the Denver areas when we recommend planting your spring bulbs. And we have the fall plant and bulb sale this Friday and Saturday, so you can stock up on all your bulb needs, including a bunch of seed mixes and some perennial plants, most of which are grown at the gardens. Now is a great time to plant plants as well to get them established before the frost.
Okay. And I was about to ask, I'm sorry, that this is a good time to plant.
Exactly, yeah. For the perennials, the annuals are done for the year. Veggies, wait till next year as well. But.
And there's always somebody who could give you advice when you come to the plant sale, right?
Yes.
I would need advice.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, for all these events, Erin, that you just talked about, they all seem like so much fun. How can we get tickets in? Do you recommend we get them in advance?
Definitely. We do ask that people reserve their tickets ahead of time. Corn Maze and Pumpkin Festival have a fee associated with them, but the plant sale is free. admission. You just ask that you reserve your ticket ahead of time. And then we also do have the preview party on Thursday for the plant sale that's ticketed.
Lovely. Well, so much going on at Denver Botanic Gardens. Eric, thank you so much. Erin, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's always a pleasure to have you and get us ready for that fall season. All right, everyone, here is some info so you can make plans for all the fun events happening at the Denver Botanic Gardens. For tickets and more info, check out botanicgardens.org. And guess what? We also have 2 pairs of tickets to give away to the Corn Maze. To enter to win, send me an email right now to coco@9news.com with the word corn in the subject line. Winners will be chosen at random. Good luck, everyone.